you remember back O.J. Simpson? Was there a bunch of rioting and stuff like that with white people? Were the millionaires out? Were they rioting and stuff like that in L.A.?
You know the answer to that. Where you headed with it?
All right. Okay, let's go on with another one then. Now, what am I going to tell my son? Oh, my goodness, what an idiot. Okay, sorry about that. Guy just did something stupid. Okay.
That never happens.
No, not here in the area, no.
Yeah.
Oh, had to have been from Illinois, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, what am I going to tell my young white son if something like this happens and he needs to defend himself? What am I going to tell him? Should you defend yourself? And should you, what am I going to tell my son? I just don't know what to tell my young white son. He's half Mexican.
What do you mean in terms of if he's threatened in a way?
Yeah, if he's threatened, should he just run as fast as he can and hope he doesn't get shot in the back, or some black kid comes up on him and starts to beat the crap out of him. He's got a gun on him. Well, you can't pull the gun, so just get the crap beat out of you, son. Just get your head beat in the cement,
Well, didn't the verdict somewhat vindicate the use of force?
Well, yes, it did, but all of the other folks are saying, see, now the black kids got to watch everywhere they're going and wearing a hoodie. Well, don't wear a hoodie, first of all. But I know you said you wear hoodies all the time, right?
I wore one this morning on the scooter on in, but
it was pretty cold, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, no, it's just once you get on a scooter or motorcycle or even a bike, and it's 75 degrees, all of a sudden it doesn't feel like it when you're moving along that fast. But anyways, the issue of what the message is out of the Zimmerman trial is
how did. I don't think there is a message, really. I told you last week, I think it was either Thursday or Friday morning, that most of the African Americans who don't know much about Africa probably really didn't even know this was in the news until their pastors or their so-called civil rights leaders brought it up to them.
Is that the important point here?
That's what I'm telling you.
No, but is that the important point? But let's look at it.
It is, because they don't even watch the news.
Okay, but the point being, what about the general unrest and dissatisfaction and bitterness? And I guess all you got to do is scratch the surface, and a lot of black people are upset and not happy with how things are. And perhaps this verdict, whether they know anything about it or not, has just stirred up that unrest.
Right, and it's going to help us to get a forum, and we're going to talk together and have lollipops and sing Pollyanna,
No, but think about that. All right, yeah, I agree. A lot of people that call in here of all races really don't know much about the Zimmerman trial, but they have an opinion about race, and just the verdict itself has brought a lot of those opinions about race to the forefront. Race and also the ability to self-defend yourself. Those are two big issues here.
And Jim, I agree with you, but here's my problem. And I don't want to stereotype and say all. Because, first of all, I don't look at it as black, white, red, yellow, whatever, however the song goes, okay? But I look at it as people, Americans. Now, you will hear some other people, whether it is in a black community, whether it's in a redneck community or whatever, say, my people, our people. Aren't the rest of these people all your people too? It's like...
Not to everyone, Jack.
I know. I know that. But why is that? Was this taught to them?
You married... Hold on a second. Let me ask you. You brought it up. You said your kids are half Mexican, right?
I did say that. That's not true.
Oh, all right.
They're half Irish, half Scottish, half Danish. Well, not half Danish. That'd be kind of like 1.5 people, but you know what I mean.
I get your point. Well, what about you? What about you? How is it that you get such an inclusive methodology when it comes to race?
What do you mean?
How did you get that way? You grow up...
I didn't used to be that way. I didn't used to be that way. Then I read about part of my heritage as far as the Native Americans and the Cherokees and the way they were treated back in between the 1800s and the 1840s, and they were pushed out of all of their lands, and they were pushed over to Oklahoma, and half of them got off of that Trail of Tears, and they went to other places. They'd be like being treated like crap. and then they changed their names and they changed their ways, and then they made a better life for themselves. And I think that's the same thing as the African community. No, I'm not saying I was ever treated like that, but the people of my heritage were treated like that.
So your Native American heritage has, along with some education, has helped you have a more inclusive outlook on life.
Right, because I feel like I understand a lot more now, and I know I don't, and I never will understand being a black person, and I feel for them, but at the same time I feel that my heritage was treated a lot the same way.
So you bring up a couple of good points, because first of all, you have some minority in you in a way, and you also have mixed in some education. A lot of people don't have either one of those.
It doesn't matter.
No, but a lot of white people don't have any minority blood in them, nor very much interaction with minorities, and their education may be technical, or it may be may not exist past the high school level, so they may
Right.
not have been exposed to the other cultures. I mean, the whole idea behind like a liberal arts education is that you get exposed to a lot of different ideas and cultures, and then by the end of that, you're like, well, it's a little bit harder to hate when I have an understanding of where people come from.
Right. Hey, Jim, let me tell you a 2-minute story, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take 2 minutes or less. I lived in a trailer park when I moved out of the area and I came back to the area. I moved into a trailer park. It was a nice trailer park. It was in Lake Station over on between the toll road and 8094. And it was a nice place. And I worked nights. I had to go to work at night starting on Sunday night. So on Sunday afternoon after I came home from church, I'd like to take a 2-hour nap, go to church on Sunday night, and then after that I'd go to work. So this lady moved in across from us, and she had parties and stuff all the time on Sundays, and she was across the street. And I went over there to her, and I said, hey, could you do me a favor, keep your music turned down a little bit. And she was Puerto Rican. I wouldn't have known that. I have no idea. I can't tell the difference between a Puerto Rican and a Mexican. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me what they are, And she says, you just don't like my music because it's Puerto Rican. And I said, no. I said, I gotta be honest with you. I don't care if it was Amazing Grace. I still don't want to hear it over at my house. And she says, you don't understand. I'm educated. And I said, well, if you're educated, then why don't you have more respect for people, It's like, I don't care. I've got a degree, too. It doesn't matter to me. It's like, your education means nothing. What are you talking about? You're educated. Well, then use your education to be respectful of people. That's what it is. It's a matter of respect for yourself and respect for people.
Leave it right there, Jack. Thanks a lot, buddy.